there's two guys that really need to get credit that I haven't really mentioned enough. Reggie Terry and Brendan Bishop are two ops guys. The amount of work they put in and the hours that they put in with all the testing, with all the protocols, they deserve to get a lot of credit. They're here probably later than everyone and earlier than everybody to make sure everything's going off well. And there's no way we could do any of this without the work that they've put in. So I just felt like I needed to thank them for that publicly, because the guys behind the scenes right now it's incredible. So thank you to them. With that, let's raise your digital hands.
We'll start things off to Rich.
Am I unmuted for once?
You're unmuted, but you should go first today since you don't take vacation days anymore.
Oh, hey. I'll tell you one thing, though, I was thinking about. It's like in the past, we would have like watched 40 minutes of training camp, taken a dozen notes, and come in here with a bunch of questions about what's happening. So we're kind of operating blind with each other here a little bit. But so anyway, just with that, is anything interesting happening out there, or any seeing developments a little ahead of schedule? Anything that you can tell us about camp right now?
Nah, it's all interesting. I mean, every single, all I'll say this is the guys are working really hard. Guys are getting better. The competition, the energy is awesome. We just keep chipping away. And, I like where we're at right now.
You kind of sound like the same guy we met in December. How have you been able to keep from getting down with all this, just the challenge of the work, I guess?
Yeah, I think you'll see, Rich. I think you'll see that's who I am. I try never to get too high and never get too low. Just, I try to be consistent. I try to be consistent with the players. I'll try to be consistent with you guys. And, I think that's the only way to be a really good leader. And, no matter what, I'm not going to change who I am. So I guess that's the best way that I can answer that question. If I let all this get to me right now, I'd probably have gray hair or no hair. One day at a time, control what I can control.
Super. Hey, we're going to have Dennis Grossel on a little later. Just can you give us a little update on him, how he's performing?
Yeah, incredible leader. So smart. He just takes command of the huddle, takes command of the offense. Can't say enough about his leadership ability. Can't say enough about him as a person. He's just a guy you trust, and you can count on to do anything you ask him to do.
Can you see his game expanding from what he had to do last year, which is,
yeah, I don't want to
AJ.
I don't want to speak on anything again that was in the past.
Right.
In order to run our offense, he's going to have to be able to do it all.
Right.
Pull the ball down the field, hand it off, make the calls at the line of scrimmage. So we're treating him just like all the other quarterbacks, and we expect a lot out of him.
Dan. Next, Dan.
Coach, I was wondering, echoing a little bit what Rich said, where we'd be able to come in, see a little bit of practice, asking questions on it. The big thing I know that I miss is, not being able to see scrimmages or anything like that. Have you guys had an opportunity to scrimmage early yet, or is that still something that might be in the future?
We haven't done any scrimmaging that would look like a game right now, where it's just put the ball down and play. Everything's been by period. Everything's been very controlled. We've had some competitive periods where there's been a winner and a loser, but we haven't just put the ball down on the 10-yard line and said, go play it, see what happens. We'll get there. I don't feel like there's a need to do that just yet, but it's coming.
What are some of the differences that when you do get the opportunity to do that, when you do just put the ball out there and say, get after it versus structure and all that? What are some of the things that you look for? Is it more abstract, or is it you look for certain objectives to be met when you do get that opportunity?
Well, you try to simulate the game, and you try to make some of those periods live. So the first time you're not tackling is when we line up in September. You'd like to see the players play without any of the coaches on the field helping them out. All the coaches are on the sideline. I think from a coaching standpoint, it gives the coordinators a chance to, not have a script where they already know the call, that they see the down and distance and they call it like they would in a game. It helps me manage situations, whether it's 4th and 4 and we're going to go for it, whether we're going to punt or whether we're going to try to kick a field goal. So I think it allows you to play the game as a player and as a coach. And there certainly is going to be a need for that as we get closer to our first game.
Two last ones for me. One is first, I've been asking the different position groups about their intros into practice and some of the things that we've seen off of off of social media, the personality. How do you kind of reflect or see the personality of this team? Is it funny? Does it have a moment of seriousness? Like, how do you see the personality developing in through training camp?
Well, I think it's a mix. I think what this team's learning to do is that when it's time to go, we go and we lock in. And, when we finish up, I want it to be loose. I want it to be fun, and I want it to be light. But you got to be able to flip the switch. I don't want to be the guy that, when we walk out of here, when that final whistle's blown, it's just, like this. I want to be able to lighten it up and have fun and be loose. You got to be able to flip that switch. I mean, we're playing a game. You got to be able to have fun. We're spending all this time together. We have to be able to have fun. But when we step on that field and the ball's put down, we got to lock in. So that's what I'm starting to see, and that's what I hope will continue to develop.
And I know analytics tend to play a larger role in what some people do. I don't know if you subscribe to more of an analytics-based stuff or not, but when it comes to film sessions or stuff like that, and you're breaking stuff down, how is kind of the technology in your experience move forward? Like what you can do now versus maybe what you could do 10, 15 years ago when you'd be reviewing plays and have to go back and clip and just be able to reverse and fast forward with the guys now versus then?
Well, everything's instant. I mean, I can go back to 2012 and pull out a 3rd and 4 play from when I was in Tampa. I mean, all the data is already inputted. If I'm saying, hey, Coach Tem, we ran this blitz in 2015 in Cleveland. I remembered it was against the Saints, 3rd drive, 2nd play. Bang, I can pick it out, and I'll probably have that for you in less than 3 minutes, where there was no way to get that. So I just think everything's fast. Everything, like there's no excuse not to be able to show really good tape anymore because you have so much good access to so much tape. If I want to go study a red zone, team in a red zone, I can click a button and get all their red zone plays. If I want to just watch 3rd down, I can literally click a button, watch all their 3rd down plays. So it's so much different than what it was.
All right, and then I know Rich has one coming up, but did you ever have to do the clipping on the film, or make any of your grad assistants or something clip through the film?
Like with actual scissors?
Yeah, the old way of doing it. You never have to do that?
No, I mean, no.
No,
I did have, right? So I had like a stack of 4 or 5 VCR tapes, right? The old VCR tapes,
Yep.
Where you would put in the master, and to build a cut up, you'd hit like play, record, stop, fast forward. So you'd build your cut ups that way. So I used to do that, with all the different video cassettes, but I was not around when you used scissors and those. Yeah, no, I never.
Go ahead, Rich.
I know that scout tapes are not like what's on the broadcast. Like if you're watching an Arizona State game on TV, that's not the same tapes the coaches look at, isn't it? Isn't that true? Or as I heard.
No, we don't watch a TV copy unless we're looking at team signals or we're trying to hear what they're saying. The coaches' film is way different, and we get a bunch of different angles, and that's how we watch practice tape, and that's how we watch game tape.
Just in that scrimmage theme, I'm just wondering, did you ever think about having a delayed spring game that you never had since the season starts later in September, maybe around Labor Day, just have like an inter-squad game?
No, we haven't. I still want it to be somewhat under control. There's
Okay.
You got to worry about your depth. You got to worry about guys getting injured too close to the season. So I'd rather have it be controlled rather than get out of hand right now. I like your idea.
And we'll wrap things up with Dan.
And just when you're preparing, I know that first game has gone kind of that first week, that 9-12 weeks kind of is still in flux, but how do you go about preparing? Have you watched film on what other opponents do yet, or is that still future you problem?
Well, while we were home during the quarantine, I started to peek all the teams just to kind of get an idea of what the ACC looked like, what the big schemes were, because that way you can kind of formulate, for example, on defense, what do we really want to look like? Because right now everyone's going to say, what are we going to look like on defense? Or are they going to study my Ohio State film? Or are they going to study Coach Lukabu's Cleveland or Cincinnati Bengal film? Or are they going to go back and watch my Cleveland Brown tape? Or are they going to watch my San Francisco tape from before we played certain things? So, it's tricky, so trying to show people they're not going to be able to figure out what we're doing until the first game.
Stuff.
Great. Jeff, thank you for all your
Jeff.
time today.